Welcome to Ritual Scale Modelling. This is part 7 of Airfix Avro Lancaster. Scale is 1:72. In part 6, I concentrated on the underside of the model. So this time around, I'm going to be doing the top side of the Lancaster. So let's jump into this and see how well I get on. To begin with, I'm painting the top side, so I'm using Revol Aquacolor 05 white. This is a matte white I'm using. I've already sanded down the seams at the top there. So this is just the first coat going on, and it's a very thin coat, and this will just show up any marks or whatever as well that I need to take care of. I know a lot of people do this after everything is on, but I like to do it at this stage. Yeah, it may waste a little bit of paint, but it does get the bottom coat down first of all, and that way you can see what's going on. You can also do this with primer as well, of course, but since I prime mine before I start, I'd rather just put the thin layer of paint down. Now that the first coat's down, as you can see, it's a little bit patchy, but that's okay. It's only the top coat, bottom coat, I should say. I'm fitting the some of the clear parts on the nose cone. Around the area, I have put on a couple of coats around the nose, so that when I do start the painting process proper, it will not be encroaching onto the clear part. Starting on the guns now, and the housing, I'm using Revol Aquacolor 08 matte black for this. It's just a simple basic coat I'm putting on. Nothing too special. I'm not really worried about neatness at this stage. So I'm using an old brush here and just throwing it on where I can. The turret is a different matter. It's still the same paint, the 08 matte black, but there's more refined. Now, you're going to see a lot of my head in this. This is actually my magnifying glass that you see there. My eyes are not as good as they used to be, so I have to use something like this. It's the nature of having it zoomed in so much. I'll bend down to concentrate on painting a part, so you are going to get to see my head a little bit. So anyway, to paint these, I'm just painting the black on the ridged areas. Some of the turrets are more trickier than others to paint. You can, of course, mask it off, but it will take such a long time to mask it off. I prefer to do it freehand. And of course, if I do make a mistake and go over the lines, I can then just rub away any excess with a cocktail stick. So now I'm going on to the actual guns. The colours I'm using for this, for the barrel, is Umbral 53 gun metal. Then it's Revol 08 matte black for the base of the gun, where it connects to the framework. And then 07 black gloss Revol Aquacolor for the muzzle of the gun. To start off with, I'm putting this in. Now, I painted this using Mr. Hobby H28 metal metallic black. Now, this sits in the centre in the little circular housing there. There's a couple of location points for it to sit into. It's difficult to make out because they're all painted different shades of black. Next to go on is the actual canopy itself. Now, I'm using micro crystal clear canopy glue for this. Just dotting it around. Now, the reason for that is because it's an enclosed unit, it's difficult to see where the contact points are going to be. So if I put normal cement in, there is a chance that it would fog up. So it's better to use the white glue for this part. Now, this just squeezes on. It is quite a tight fit. And it can only go in one specific way, so make sure it is on 100% straight before you move on, and also make sure it's dry as well, because you don't want that to slip. The rear part of the turret then gets connected. Now, I didn't paint in the rear part of the turret because this is actually inside the fuselage, so I didn't see the point of painting it, but of course you can if you want to. There's only a couple of lines to paint in, but as I said, I didn't see much of a point. Next are the guns themselves. Now, these actually get placed on the clear part. So I'm using once more the canopy glue to fit these. The location points are on the outside of the clear part of the turret. It's a strange design, this one. All the rest are more conventional, but this one is slightly different. Now, you have to figure out the angle you want the gun barrels to be pointing before you place these on. They can be straight or angled upwards or downwards, whatever your preference is. So I'll just lift this to the camera so that you can see a little bit better. It's not 100% clear. It's mostly because it's black, but hopefully you can make out enough of it. There's an extra bit of housing to be made up for this turret, and it's just two halves placed together. You can see there's a bit of a seam there, so I'll take care of that before I place the unit on. And once that's taken care of, it's just a matter of connecting this. Now, I'm not sure whether this should be a flush finish or if it's meant to be a small ridge. It certainly appears to be a little line anyway, so I'm going to keep it like that. I've got a feeling that's how it's meant to go, in order for movement for the turret. I'm not sure, but it looks right to me. But once I'm happy with it, I'll just top up the paint and get everything to the same shade as the fuselage. The next turret is made up slightly different from the first one, however it is painted exactly the same, so there's no point going through that process again. The gun gets placed onto the mount first of all. There's a little cradle there that just holds the gun on. Now, this can be left so you have free movement. I'm not going to have it that way. I'm just going to set it in position. And once that's set, I'm using a little bit of white glue on the housing and then just pushing it in, the gun barrels through the slot on the turret itself. Then the housing just clicks in. It is a tight fit, and you have to make sure it is actually on its line, or the back half will not close. So it's important that you get it exactly straight and how it's meant to be. Just dry fit it and test it before you commit, to make sure you know exactly how it's going to go. And once you're happy with it, it's time to add the back part of the turret. And if I just hold this one to the camera, you can see it. Now, while I'm waiting for them to dry, there's a little bit of work still needing doing on the underside. This is a little radar dish, I think it is, and it just sits in its housing there, painted white with the same colour as the fuselage. And the back is painted with the same colour as the underside of the fuselage. And when that goes on, the point of it goes onto the third opening of the lights that you see there on the bottom part of the fuselage. The frosted part of this canopy is the part that you'll be painting, so you won't actually get to see a lot of this dish inside the canopy, but you can glimpse it. Back to the turrets, and this one has a solid backing to it, and that will just get pushed on. Again, it's held with the crystal clear glue to avoid any fogging. The main canopy, I'm painting freehand once more. Exact same process as I've done everything else, just a different shape. There's side panels to go onto the main canopy. Again, it's secured with a little bit of white glue, and it just gets pushed on. It's quite thin plastic, so it may slip out the housing, but just persevere with it, and you should get it straight. I would imagine you can have these open if you wish, with the panels slid back. I think that's why this is separate from the main canopy. Now it's time to put the turrets in. I did leave these to dry overnight, so the white glue was completely gone. The first one, it's better if you angle the bottom in first before pushing the back inside the fuselage. The centre column one just drops in. I left that free moving so that I didn't have to worry about it, what angle it was going to go to. But first of all, a little housing has to go on top, and that just gets placed on. There's no location points as such for this, so you have to do it by eye. And of course, goes without saying, dry fit if you're not too sure, but also make sure it's completely set before you place the turret on, because you don't want to get any smudge or glue marks on your turret as you place it in. Also, we want to rotate the turret as well. You don't want any excess glue interfering with that. So the next turret to go in is the front one, and that just pops on at the base like that. And as I put this on, this is where I'll end the part 7. So if you haven't done so already, why don't you check out the channel for my other builds? If you subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell for all the updates. Hit that like button. Don't be afraid to leave a comment, and of course you can share the video. But for now, thank you all very much for watching. Bye bye.